Alright, what up, y'all? This is audibly Neko-kun, also Osugure, whatever you want to call me. It doesn't really matter at this point. So, this video showcasing my ugly voice. And sorry for stutters, I'm tired, I'm gonna be real. Well, this is gonna be in response to a comment on my 236C left right, to my knowledge. I'll do a different video if it was actually for a different comment, but I'm pretty sure this is to my 236C left right for Kohaku. So, my first disclaimer is that I'm tired, and I also have not been able to practice Melty for a while, so my execution is going to be really spotty. So expect drops, because I'm going to try to do this in one take. 2, this is a really executionally heavy beat. I can't say route, because there's multiple ways to route into it, but routing into this is very executionally heavy. So if you're a newer Kohaku that's not too keen on combos yet, this is not for you. I want to say you want to come back later, but if still analyzing and looking at the tech, that is fair game. So that way you understand it before you even get to it. So I'm going to start and show something basic for newer Kohakus, just in case you're just trying to jump in anyway, before I get into showing the left right and then explaining it. So for newer Kohakus, if you don't know how to do these, and of course I'm dropping already, oh yeah, like I'm about to be going through it. Like if you don't know how to do this type of auto looping, as much as I'm dropping it, then this is what you need to practice first. I'm just gonna be legit. You need to practice this first, because this is your easiest way to set this up, and essentially going to be the main way I'm going to set it up in this vid. So I want to get into that. If you don't know how to do mid-screen auto looping, you need to sit there and learn that specifically. So I'm going to showcase this from a somewhat optimal route first, and then I'll get into all nuanced routes and all this extra stuff and explain the left right. I'm going to drop. I just got to put that out twice because yeah, I am so rusty and tired. Same side. I'm pretty sure it wasn't doing that without the... It was doing it without 2C. I feel like I'm going to be apologizing to y'all for drops like this entire video. I didn't even get a 5A.
She see the way we moving. She been down with the team, now she trying to get down with the movement. Keep it in motion, please keep the shit moving. Cause all she ever worry about is what a nigga got. Not shit, put a couple new ports in the box. But she want the imports, that just put her on a lot. Baby, hold that thought, I'ma get that spot. But you see right now, I've been on that block, trying to build my team up to reach that top. So I can put that top down upon that drop. And then the panties drop down, she back on top. And before I drop down, no, I'm gon' pop. They say, young nigga hot now, and he just won't stop. Because I came with a team now, and it came with a plot. Now see it now, sipping slow, or getting throw. See the pace, we can controlling the way we roll, still laid back, but now I let the bitches know that I ain't the same nigga that you seen before. Used to give me the cold shoulder, now a nigga.
There we go.
Used to want nothing from a nigga, now want nothing some more. Ain't that
Made it
some
really
shit?
clear.
Nigga, I've been out of the
That is out of the corner.
homies up and back in the road, and now they got me
So,
mobbing with my niggas, steady looking at my
2360 is the main point here. So let me show you what's happening. So I'm gonna push her into the corner, as you see. I'm gonna backdash. Still in the corner. So I'm gonna backdash, and I'm gonna take. Looks like I can't say it's a character length, but I'm gonna say about here, right here. I have no meter. Like right about there, slightly farther back than that. And like, forgive me, like this is like pixels right now, right there. She is now out of the corner. So what though? I'm gonna show you how this works from mid screen and corner. So V-Sion got pushed that way. If I am doing it while immediately in the corner, I got pushed back. So, what is this state? So, the way this super actually works is that this super has a definitive distance that both your opponent and Kohaku gets placed. Very important to keep that in mind because this is how this works. So, essentially what you're doing is that in combo, you're routing so you get to that distance where they're in the corner and your combo pulled them out. Like, that's out of the corner. So, yeah, that's how annoying this is. And it's thinking of how to route into it from there. There's multiple ways you can, and there's a whole bunch of nuanced stuff to it. This also is a way to set up the cactus Sandori. I have a different video on that. But this is a video explaining left right behind that and all the nuanced stuff that you can do. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I just wanted to show you some more routes other than that route and explain that distance. Now I'm going to take a second to talk specifically on routing. So you can essentially do this from anything. Problem is you have to keep in mind gravity is a factor, hurt boxes are a factor. So with those two things being factors, if you are not a person that actively plans ahead, so as soon as you get a hit, you know what you want to do, this is going to be extremely hard for you because of the fact that at that point you have to be near a Kohaku expert to sit there and be able to route into this on the fly. Because if you're sitting there already hitting and you're like, oh, well, I'm already hitting this character. Or let me do it from a different route anyway right now. So it's like, I'm already hitting this character. Normally this is a route like I do on Ryogi. And I'm not thinking, I'm just like, yo, I got this confirmed, let me do what I need to do. And it's like, you know what, let me route into that left right. Like, that requires thought. There is no easy way to sit there and do that because of the fact that, like, I'm doing an untraditional route there, which is already out the gate different. And if I wasn't thinking about getting into it by that first Bato, doing it later in the combo is even harder than doing it where I did it. And not mentioning, that's not even like the most weird you can be with this routing. Like, you can do shit like that. That's not traditional at all. Also surprised I hit it first try. But that's not traditional at all. And that set that up. Like, that's without doing mid-screen loops. That's straight up was me setting it up without that, which makes it really hard for our opponent to know because the route's untraditional. And there's stuff like that you can factor in. And like, you can do this from traditional routing. There's this complex version of doing it that I don't think most people can do. This because this is a double. This is doing double Bato loop. I mean not Bato loop. This. Well, yeah. This is your double Bato loop route. And I know a lot of people aren't even comfortable doing single. So this is where doing this is kind of like out of the ordinary. Of course, I'm dropping it, but like I said, rusty. I think I just 5C here. And I also don't think I need a 2C there. Right there, that should be out of the corner. Wee. So there's multiple ways to route into this. It's not as simple as like, oh, you just do this one route. And that's what's going to make this annoying for your opponent, is that there's too many ways to route into this if you know what you're doing as Kohaku. So this is why this is hard. Like, there's too many factors on top of the fact that, wow. Show you the ropes, but you can hang with this. Now they can hang with us. They ain't rapping enough. Lately been blacking on tracks and my team backing me up. Backing down for nothing, no nada. We ain't passing this up. Lately they act like they tough. You bout that action or what? Come on, be honest with me. You know we bringing plenty. Don't for your I think the 5C was too high there. Like Bobby Whitney, here bobbing, they bobbing with me. Exactly how I like it. And still some out to get me. Thinking maybe I might just go Cypress. Lose my mind through all of the crisis. Fall victim to vices. Have them looking like where my ice is, man. I need that. Game fresher, don't out of the corner. That's the same side. Just because I did the air dash different. I could even do it without jumping back if I wanted to. Like, oh, I didn't expect that to hit. That 2C looked like I was gonna drop. Oh wow. And like I said, like if you, I showed it earlier without doing it in route, but I'll try to do it in route now. I should just have to take off 5B. Now tell them if they sign me, they gon' have to put my niggas on this line. They right behind me, this all purpose. Man, no, this ain't no hobby. I control it onto this shit. This something that if I can get the 2A to come out. I knew they was out to get, but I knew I could work this. His pops was working with floppy disks, and I knew this with confidence, and I knew this was common sense. But they still just gon' look at me, laugh like dog, we your conscious win. But I guess they don't know right now, but I bet they know soon enough. And these niggas try to look me down, but I bet these girls look me up. And I keep the same crew around. No, I never do switch up. So the groupies might come around, and they might just so groupie love. And I think I like 5C early. So yeah, I'm trying to keep this video short, but my execution's telling me no. I'm pretty sure I just said shirt and should have short, but whatever. But yeah, this left right is really technical. It's not as simple as you do it, you don't. So that's why I'm just like, this is something that's like, I can show this, but essentially every Kohaku player that wants to learn this, to a degree, you're going to have to go experiment with your own routing to see how you sit there and get into this. Because of the fact that there's so many ways, even ways I'm not, that I know of, and probably no ways I haven't even found, or like haven't even tested to get into this, and I wasn't paying attention there. To get into this left right, so I'm just like, I can explain the concept, but I need a visual, like, and that's why I was like, I needed to do this visually, and I couldn't really sit there and do this in text, because if I try to explain this in text, it's not going to make enough sense in my opinion. So that's why I did this video like this. Like, I'm sorry it's a one take. I'm sorry for like whatever audio issues. Well, there shouldn't be any extreme audio issues. It's probably just my lack of ability to speak from being tired. side, even though she was out of the corner. So that's pretty much the gist of this left right. There's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of tech behind it. I want to leave you with this. I want to keep this also short, just because like this is something you're gonna have to practice. This is like straight up. This will take practice. It'll take a lot of thought. And if you're trying to make this as layered as possible, you need so many different ways to route into this as well that your opponent can't expect the mix-up from you. And that's another thing that why I've created so many mix-ups that's truly make an effective Kohaku. And there's also mix-ups I haven't shown. I can also shout out to other Kohaku players. Amla has actually made a decent amount of H Kohaku tech. Urchin Rumbler has also made a decent amount of tech too. One thing he's famous for is doing this roll left right. And etc. So I want to give them the shout outs too and say, yeah, this is a layered. If you're new, this is not really for you, but I don't mind you trying it. It just, you have to get to the executional point to do it. So as a video for the future, I'm going to talk about that real quick. So eventually I plan on doing a video specifically catered to optimizing Kohaku. The reason why is because especially in NA, most of the fear from this character comes from her damage output and mix-ups. I think specifically, in my own opinion, you can get away without actually having the mix-ups and having the pressure and Oki. Well, correction, not the pressure. You need to know the structure, pressure, and melty. Yeah, that was about to be me talking on my ass. But once it comes to her offense, you can get away without having all of the ridiculous mix-ups and stuff as long as you actually are effective once it comes to optimizing. Because if you're quite literally the absolute best at optimizing, like your random hits, even if you're doing BNBs, are like, as you saw that I didn't even finish the combo, that was 6k, and that's off of JB, which is, this is a common thing people get hit by, and that's literally just me optimizing right. And it can go even further than that. Like on B-Scion, me hitting with the JB like this can literally be the end of the character. This is something that's like, me hitting you with this specifically, it's like, damn, you're about to take like 7k. Like, I'm dropping like all hell right now, but it's like, I think you get the point. Like, just me doing the normal BNB is 6k. Like, that's 6k with just the normal BNB. So I will eventually do a video on optimizing her, but for now, that's the video. I dropped a lot, but I also think I showcased enough, and I explained the most important thing out of this whole video is that you are routing for that distance. I'm going to end the video on this position so you can see this position. I'm going to let it rock for a bit too. But this position right here, where I did this super, Kohaku's in the same place. B-Scion got pulled out of the corner. This is the distance you need to sit there and memorize, because this is the distance you're going to sit there and set up in combo for you to sit there and get this left right. So with that, I say thank you for tuning in, especially to hearing my voice because it's ugly as shit. Deuces, y'all. There will be more content coming post Vortex Gallery.